Coastline Bow, thank you so much for the tier 1. Yeah. I have not streamed Splatoon 3 in a month. That is something. I have streamed Splatoon 2. Though it's just been Octo expansion. I guess I technically haven't streamed Splatoon multiplayer for a month. It's been a lot of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze instead. But I had some extra time this morning, so I figure, why not do a little bit today? And there goes my team to the carbon roller. I should play some carbon. I want to try out the QR carbon thing that was in Area Cup. It was a mega player last night against me, and I found it very annoying. I wanted to try it out. So maybe we'll try some more. Oh, I thought we'd go the other way. Do we have triple bubble? Yeah, we do. Triple bubble booyah. I did not think he would turn around. Dragolus Lost, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. Nice to see a Donkey Kong streamer branch out to other games. Alright. Okay. So the annoyingness of bubble on offense might not hold up on defense, chat. Oh. Dude, I am getting rolled this game. This might be the only S-Blast game today. Oh my god, I'm getting everything thrown. I have Kraken, and Crab, and Azuka. Okay, it's over. Marge C. Boy, thank you so much for the tier 1. It's GM Mystic. Oh, okay. Hopefully your games go better than mine, I'll vibe. Thank you. Alright, that's enough S-Blast. I think I went like 1-9 that game. A little better. Little. I was a comp that just lost on lockout. Yeah. R.I.P. De-rusting. I mean, I've been playing the game, but a little bit de-rusting. I don't even know if I have the gear to try the carbon stuff anyway. I mean, I definitely want to have a full set, but I don't even know if I have enough QR. What's the most amount I can even stack? Yeah, well, speaking of Storm, he's been on Zap, so RIP your other S-Blast player. I don't know, I haven't played S-Blast in a while. I tried it a little bit after the buff, but it hasn't really changed too much for me. I don't think I use this anyway, so... From what I'm aware of, I might have some of the slots wrong, But this is what the Carbon was using in Area Cup. This is the set. Yeah. So, like, a lot of QR. Like, this is legit. Wait, what is this? 2 main, 5 sub QR right now. And you just run it down. Yeah, that's what was ran. I think even the regular roller was running QR. I'll check. That's the recent Area Cup VOD development. I didn't have time to talk about it in the endgame meta video. Because it literally came out while the video was rendering. But yeah, I think this was the set. It was Adori and Dawn, I believe. So, even Reg Roller is using QR now. Stampers have also been using QR. Like, Splatana Stamper now runs QR even on zones, from what I've seen. No, Adori still uses QSJ Ninja Squid set. I guess he switched between two. Yeah, Carbon won Area Cup, if I remember correctly. I think the Carbon is what won, yeah? Yeah, the Carbon. But now that your horizontal flick was reliable enough, remember I said that buff really depends? You can just run in and, like, be a trade machine with max QR. I got, like, super wallbang. I was like, look at, I'm in the middle of that structure. Like, Carbon actually has a bit more of the vibe, but Area Cup Spoilers is in the middle of watching that. My bad. I mean, I figured you knew since you were playing with Omega. He was doing the same thing. I just realized if I test this in solo and it goes wrong, I'm gonna look like a terrible player. Yeah, the idea is to literally have cooler respawns. Yeah, why do you think you died 19 times one of the games? Oh, I missed that vertical. For fun. Not really like Tetra. I think like no swimmer Ninja Squid definitely makes this a lot harder than I thought it would be. They're still lightweight, so I don't feel slow, but it is, like, different. The horizontal flick on Carbon does feel way better, though. And that's, like, the main change, I guess. But I think the Carbon idea works best when you're fighting people who are actually going to, like, WP on you. It's, like, really aggro teams. Yeah! Trizuka! I earned that. Oh my god, I died to that bomb. Oh, it's okay, we combo. That was not a good spot to land in. Also, I don't know why they use one sub-saver on the builds. I'm just copying it. I don't know why. I'm guessing it saves an extra flick for some kind of double burst thing. Purely a guess. Oh my god, having an actual horizontal against brush like that is so nice. Oh, I shot too far. Oh, what? He double directed me, okay. Don't know the last time I died to 2 flash effects. I need to live. Yeah, I was trying to strike! Julie, clutch up. Oh, Julie did not clutch up. Wait, we can get Chara. Oh no. Oh, rip. I knew that strike would hit me on the wall too. Yeah, I think everyone knew it was over once it was strike. Okay. Maybe not test this here. Yeah, I think out of any class in this game, the balance changes for rollers have been the best one. They have done a really, really good job with rollers. Okay, RIP, let's get back on range blasters so we don't throw games. Yeah, I don't know what I think about the carbon thing. I have no idea if it's, sustainable or if it's just the roller player was good. Also, it's so funny that even with fucking roller, people are still picking Squeezer. Every top 4 team had a Squeezer. Squeezer's dominating the X-Rank leaderboard. Like, that gun has to be #1 target for the nerfs, I think. And, like, the wall nerfs were probably because of 52 as well. But I'm willing to bet it was also for Squeezer. And they've nerfed Squeezer a decent bit. It's gotten 220 and a painting nerf. And more ink consumption. They gotta give it a... They just haven't nerfed it in a way that matters. And, like... Usually I'm fine with that. Usually that's enough for a lot of weapons to not tone it back that harshly. Squeezer's the exception. That gun is busted. They do, in fact, need to tone back the core part of Squeezer. I don't think this is any form of, like, oh, it's a shooter, they can't buff nerf it. I think, like, their idea was just to make Squeezer's weaknesses so much of a deal that it's not as worth it. Or that it can't solo carry as easily. The problem is it just didn't work. I think the idea was fine. Like, I like what they were going for. I thought that indirect would hit. Okay. Squeezer's weakness? It just doesn't paint. It doesn't paint and it doesn't get specials. You get like 2 bazookas and you paint like 900 in a full game. That's the downside. But you just kill everything. Like, the problem with that is all that nerf has done is make it so that the other players are more restricted. Like, now you need a paint warlord. Right? Like, you just run Neo Splash now, or Zap or something, and like that's what the nerf did. At least we have 2 edits this time instead of pencils. We have 2 strong roller teams. Also a double cooler one. I didn't even really think about that. That's edit Zap. That's 2 coolers with the max QR carbon. That shit just only got to hold forward. Yeah, I think Bowser needs more paint. Like, the stuff being ran with double midline, if you're doing backless, it needs to, like, really paint well. I think that's Bowser's issue. I thought it was that before the ink efficiency buff. But now the ink efficiency buff got me like, okay, yeah, it definitely was the problem. My entire team is jumping in when I'm last up. Might work out, though. It's a lot of jumps. I mean, in general, like, even squeezers are running QR too, generally. I think the main shifts gear-wise is just more QR. Like, just give the midlines more chances to walk forward. And that's probably the same logic as to why double cooler is being tried. Like, I think it's the same mindset, really. And I've seen some Western teams try it too. Like, Gray and Zara have been playing together. They've tried it in both their recent tournament runs to do, like, Zap with Pen, so that the sword and RB fight more, but it hasn't really worked out yet for them. Drop? Oh, it's just a hammer for that. I don't know, I think, like, this is just the natural pushback to... Like, it's the same thing I talked about in the video where, like, I'm like, people are trying all this rushdown stuff and trying to be more aggro to break this formation. To me, it's just the same trend. Like, it's just done in a different way, right? Like, how can we up the pace? How can we run at them more to beat the Neo Splash, like, pen squeezer bucket stuff? Just do more of it. Just have more things that run in. Have more quick respawn. Have more cooler. And the difference is, in this tournament, it worked. Not by much. It was 2-3. It was very close. And I think if the Pen team won that semi set, they'd probably just win the whole tournament. But it did work that one time. The question is, will it work again? I don't know. But it's good to see that heavy experimentation. Need to try it here. Hey, this way, but I don't think there's another jump. I mean, yeah, that's the, like, the good players thing is true. It's like, that's Dawn on the Carbon. That is the Carbon guy. And that's Idori on the roller guy. It's like, it could also just be, hey, this tournament had the 2 roller players who always get results with their weapon, and this is nothing new, you know? Like, you can also just make that argument that these are just players who know their weapon, and they just had a good run. Rather than it being, like, anything super new to be pushed. This is just good players on the weapon that have always been a thing, right? That's a fair argument. But, like, I don't know, it still matters that they won, to me. Yeah, QR Reg Roller, it was on the Ink Block game. They had full QR on the roller. Yeah, Squeezer have been doing that same Gambit 1.2 QR and then a bunch of utility subs. No, the first 2 episodes of the meta history are already starting. I have 4 of them planned. Originally it was going to be 3, but then the script for the first episode, is like 25 minutes long, which is way too long, so it's going to be 2 parts. Launch meta is going to be its own video, and then it will be crab meta. Do I think Gambit range is worth it? No. Too risky. I think you're always doing comeback or last ditch. Last ditch range has been more popular with Neo Splash because the zones games just last longer. I think especially if you're on a map like Humpback where the bombs are strong, it's good to run. I actually like last ditch range quite a bit because I tend to overuse my bomb. So I can have that habit and it's fine if I have last ditch. Yeah, I don't know. I just think the good news about the area cup trends is just like more QR, double cooler. It's all just the same idea I talked about. Just rush down style comps. So I already mentioned the style of comps. I could have just given more examples if the video was posted a day later. But like it's the same idea. Oh, I sniped it, but it didn't kill. That would have been sick if I killed it, though. Damn, and the armor worked there. Holy zip armor working. I mean, launch meta, I just want to talk about a lot of stuff. I want to talk about the bugs, how broken some stuff was because of that. Like, some of the things that were really bad, like Slider and Stamp. I want to talk about the triple machine meta and why it was fake and what we did with it. Launch missiles, stuff like that. Like, even though triple machine meta was, you know, fake, and obviously crabs are what was good and we just didn't know, there's still just so much to talk about in the early state of Splatoon 3 to kind of set the stage. And the other thing is, like, when I talk about crab meta, I really want to talk about, like, why it existed. And, like, the original script kind of goes through it really fast, and I want to take more time to properly cover why crab meta is a thing, and how it lasted as long as it did. That kind of stuff. So that's the kind of thing I wanted to do. S2 had a ton of meta periods. I had to merge a bunch of them for a video, because they were short. Like, double mini meta was like a 1-2 patch thing. That shit lasted like 1 month. It's like, I talked about it, but like, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it because it just didn't last very long. You know? But this is different. This is a meta that lasted 6 months. It's like, it's important to cover why it lasted 6 months. Six months? It might have been longer. I don't know. What S3 meta was best? I kind of like the one we have currently. Starting to pass Jetpack for me. There's just a lot of stuff being picked right now. And you can really feel it. And I like the trends to more QR rushdown stuff. I think it's interesting. I still feel like we're on the verge of the meta being even better, but I don't know if next patch is gonna do the right stuff. I really don't know. The next patch could either tone back stuff in a way that makes things less annoying and not over-nerf anything, or it could completely change up the game. It could completely over-nerf a lot of weapons, and I don't know what happens from there. I hope it's not. And, like, the thing that scares me is we could be on the tail end of patches. You know, if there's no third kits and they rush Splatoon 4 out the gate, then we probably only have a few left. So it's like, having a bad patch at the end is a lot scarier. Like, a bad patch in the middle is annoying, but there's so much left we'll recover from the worst factors of any of the things we're dealing with. But a bad patch now? Or, like, if it is near the end, a bad patch near the end? Like, that could last, the effects of that could last. Bad patch near the end is what killed us too. I mean, I wouldn't say it killed it, but like it definitely changed comp in a bad way. Forever. Splatoon 2's reputation would have been a lot better if it didn't end like that. It would still have issues. I don't know, that's always the problem with Splatoon 2 discussion at times, like, the endgame meta always gets such a spotlight, and I think there's definitely people who argue that, like, Splatoon 2 as a whole was not as bad. It was just the endgame stuff. And I kinda agree. I think you can build, like, and they even did build a better, like, meta with the idea of everything they tried to do in Splatoon 2, but I still think it was a bad idea. Like, you could have salvaged it better. But it was still just, you know, armor is not a good idea. It just shouldn't have been it shouldn't have been there. Missiles were not a good idea. Ray was not a good idea. Having kits that were so weak was not a good idea. Over-nerfing, like, every single cool weapon that they put in the game was not a good idea. Like, not all those problems go away by ignoring the last few patches. Like, I had a project for, like, Project Gamblets, I believe, or something, a long time ago, where I rebalanced Splatoon 2 a little bit, and, like, I kind of just had to compromise stuff. So, like, you know, with armor, I did stuff like nerf the duration down a bit. I think the only thing I completely gutted was Ray. Like, I kept missile and armor, like, relatively good. I just tried to tone them back. And as far as I'm aware, the missile cooldown in Splatoon 3 could not be added in Splatoon 2 with how it's coded. From what I remember. So that was also not a possibility. Yeah, I saw that video on Splatoon 2 is dying, like the leaderboards and stuff. It's not too surprising. I think it's because it's on the same console, really. I don't know. Splatoon 1 maintaining the player base it did for as long as it did was a phenomenon. I don't think that's going to happen with many other Splatoon games. Maybe if Splatoon 4 goes into a radically different direction, Splatoon 3 could have that, but like if not, then I don't know. That's really something we don't know. Okay, I thought that guy was gonna die. What did we lose? Strike? Yeah, we lost strike. I don't know if we can save this game. The opportunity to work at Nintendo and influence the direction of the meta, would you take it? I've said this before, but it's probably been a while. I would like to give opinions directly to the balance change, to the balance team. I like to talk about stuff and go over ideas. I would not like to directly be able to put something into the game. I don't have that kind of experience. But I'd like to be able to go like, hey, I don't like this bubble change because of this, this, and this. And then they take it into account and then, I don't know, maybe it changes, maybe it doesn't. That would be my ideal position. I'd just like some form of communication. I think in general that would be good. Like, input from some of the best players. Because I think, there are going to be areas where players will understand what balance changes will do more. Like, particularly how it'll... Like, if I nerf range AoE, I will probably understand how that changes the gun better than the devs will. But, like, when it comes to larger scale, then the player knowledge is going to fall apart. Like, I can give my ideas on it, I can have my opinions on it, but I will not understand how that will work better than a developer. And, like, there's also just different, like, trends that are not something players would know. Like, it's been very clear that the last two patches have had a lot of quality of life focus changes with their balance stuff, like the Brella change, the bubble beacon, stuff like that. Like, there were, especially this patch had a lot of stuff that was clearly just made to have the game feel a little bit better. Why they're doing that now? I don't know. Some people have been speculating maybe some of the old devs that were focused on side order are back, and that's why stuff like this is happening, but that feels very speculative. I don't know. Try not to fall into any conspiracy theories about Splatoon balancing or anything like that. They really need to fix how snowbally this mode is. Like, they really need to fix this. I think this is, like, the other mode's pacing is so fucked in solo specifically. Like, TC is way too attacker favored. Clam Blitz is way too difficult to fucking score. And, I don't know, Rainmaker's pacing in solo is probably okay. Got 2 extra points for that. Nice. You mentioned you wanted to be a programmer before. Did you ever try learning it? Yeah, I did programming in middle school. I took classes in high school. And a little bit in college. But that's kind of where I started going, oh, I'm not really super into this. Yeah, I took QBasic and JavaScript in high school. So... anyone who's taken programming, like a programming class in high school, probably has done QBasic. That's where everyone starts. And it was alright. I had fun with it, but... I don't know, I just kinda... It didn't really feel like this is something I want to do for the next 40 years of my life, you know? Or even 20 or 10. I was like, I'm okay. Well, it might have been Java, not JavaScript. I don't quite remember. Bad memory moment. Like, all that knowledge is gone. Game design instead of coding. I mean, yeah, that's something I could do as well. I thought about it. But I'm not sure. I think I just like Splatoon. And Splatoon's game design and stuff. I don't know if that would translate a lot to general game design. Oh, we have the QR umbrella cheese stuff. Tower. I mean, I've looked into game design a bit. I just haven't really thought about doing my whole career out of it. Oh, I needed to hit that. This carbon is trolling. Might not matter though, we are getting rolled. Getting like super and spawn. Oh! Our Umbrella's gotta clutch up. Alright. That did not happen. That was a very one-sided game. Yeah, no, it's not really something I'd ever talk about in a video, but I do think it's a big Splatoon 3 or Splatoon 4 thing that like the modes need to be rebalanced better. I think they just need to be rebalanced more around solo. This stuff affects comp play too, though, so I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Would you cut a game mode? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Another regular battles mode? Okay. Here's the problem. I think they need to stop being labeled as regular battles and ranked battles. I think that the ranked modes need to lose the idea of being super sweaty competitive only things. Because I don't think they are. Maybe with the exception of Clam Blitz. I can see the argument for clams. But I do not look at Rainmaker and think, yeah, this is for the comp players. No fucking shot. That mode is a casual mode. Nothing wrong with comp Rainmaker, by the way. Well, actually, yeah, there's things that are wrong. But Rainmaker, like, I look at Rain and I'm like, yeah, that was definitely designed with, like, casuals in mind. I do not think this was built for super competitive players. But it's labeled as a ranked mode. So everyone thinks of it as a ranked mode. I think Rainmaker could be more casual than Turf. If we really want to stretch it. But it's like, until this game, like literally, think about it, guys. Until this game, Rainmaker has only been able to be played with like ranked modes, or you have to be in a stack of people. If you wanted to play solo Rainmaker, you had to affect your rank. There was no way to do it. And technically that's true in this game, but like, the rank is affected by such a small degree, it's basically negligible. But even then though, like, why is it affected at all? Like, open could just not affect your rank at all. I think it shouldn't. I think that would also help ranked modes a bit, because then, like, give people who want to play the modes more casually a mode to do. This is like a constant problem people complain about in terms of like, oh my god, I run into all the sweaty players, and like they get mad at the players for that. And it's like, no, the problem is like all these players are forced in the same fucking queue system. Like Splatfest is #1 problem. If you want to play casual fest, or sorry, if you want to play competitive fest with a team, if you want to grind as a team for Splatfest, you have to play in the casual mode. If you want to play solo and not run into 4 stacks or 2 stacks, you have to play pro. Why? Why is it like this? Telling me they can't have like a ranked team mode, ranked individual mode, solo individual mode, and solo team mode. There's 4 queues in the base game. They could fit 4 queues in Fest. But it's like, that's the problem with Open. That's what originally I was like, oh my god, Open is something we've needed. It's finally a casual ranked mode. Finally, this is something we've needed. And then they gave it league powers. Open should not have league powers. Originally I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe the matchmaking will do the work of separating the teams. They didn't. Open should not have powers. Open having powers directly incentivizes grinding a power in a mode that is supposed to be not grindy. We have messed up. Skill-based matchmaking. The matchmaking in this game is mostly fine. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's perfect, but like, the problem is when it is too focused on the skill-based matchmaking. It will never be perfect. You need other systems to help make the skill-based matchmaking have to do less of the legwork, you know? But the problem is that it's not like that. The problem is the skill-based matchmaking has to carry because we're putting very different types of players into the same queues. And like, you can be a casual player and be matched with more competitive players because casual and comp is not strictly skill-based. There are sweaty B rank players. There are casual S+ ranked players. You need ways of separating that, because if skill-based matchmaking looks at it, they're going to be like, oh, these guys are the same skill, and put them in games with each other, because that's what it's supposed to do. And, like, it's not doing anything wrong. Sweaty B-rank players? What's wrong with that? Everyone starts out as a sweaty player at some point. It depends on where you were. I was a sweaty B-rank player in Splatoon 1. I was in B-rank for, like, a month. I sweated in it. I was shit at the game, but I still wanted to get better. And, like, back then you don't, like, yeah, you rank up from B rank to A rank, that feels huge. I remember what it felt like to grind ranks. Like, it just feels good to get up a rank. That's your goal. It's just smaller scale. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, that's the thing. Splatoon has a lot of modes, but I know for some portion of the player base, it's, oh, but these are the 4 sweaty modes, and there's only one real mode, and then there's, like, there's challenges, but that's limited time. Doesn't count, right? But it's like, that's not how I think it should be. I think the ranked modes need to lose the stigmatization of being ranked modes. I think they just needs to be a ranked system. And that's all that rank should be, is just a system. In fact, you guys might have realized that this might lead to, do I think ranked turf should be a thing? Yes. Turf has the same problem that everything else does. Did you guys know that there is a flag system in Turf War? It's next to your weapon icon. It's been a thing for forever, since Splatoon 1. And if you win in Turf War, or lose in Turf War, your little rating next to your flag goes up and down. And as your flag gets higher, you have to win more games and lose less of them to continue to increase the flag. Do you know what that is? That's a rank system. Turf War has a rank system. They just don't tell you about it, but it's there. I'll show you after this game. And, like, it's less known about it, but there are people who grind Turf War because they want a gold flag. Because it's the only way to get a gold flag next to your weapon. You have to grind it for it. If you want a gold flag, you have to grind Turf War. I believe once you get to gold and you're, like, grinding for 99 gold, it's, like, 3 wins for every 1 loss. Like, it gets hard. So guess what? If you're ever wondering why sometimes there's sweaty Turf War players, do they have an actual reason to do that? Actually, yes. The game put an incentive for it. That's a real thing. And, like, I don't have a problem with that. I think that's cool that there's a system for that. But that system should not also be normal Turf War. So, like, what if there was a ranked Turf War, and then ranked Turf War leveled up your flag, and normal Turf War didn't affect it? Then all of a sudden, the players don't match in the same queue. Like, for all of these that I've talked about, will there be some assholes who go match in the casual queue, even though they're playing sweaty and try to bully people? Absolutely. 100%. But I think the majority of players who want to sweat in Turf War probably want to play with other people who are sweating in Turf War. Same for anything. Saul, thank you so much for the tier 1. The majority of comp players don't enjoy noob stomping. They don't want to do it. It's not fun. But, like, a lot of times where those situations happen, it's because of problems with the game system. And I think Splatoon 3 tried to fix this problem, because Splatoon 3 really did add a lot of different queues so that players had more to do. Because more queues was good outside of this issue. In general, Splatoon 2 had a very much oh, you're getting on the game right now, you have to play tower control, because that's what's in rotation. If you don't want to play tower control, too bad. The devs said, it's time to play tower control. So queue in tower, right? And Splatoon 3 tried to fix that by being like, okay, we have this queue, this queue, this queue, this queue, and sometimes there's this queue. So if you get on the game, you can play whichever one you want. Which is, like, better. It doesn't fix the problem of the queues in the first place, but, like, at least there's more of them now. Like, we'll take that. So it's like, it's 2 very big problems with the game have the same exact reason as to being problems. Yeah, Splatoon 1 was even worse, because instead of saying, sorry, you got on the game for 2 hours, you have to play tower control, it said, sorry, you got on the game for 4 hours, you have to play tower control. I'm just using tower as an example, because that's what's in Road right now. That's just what came to mind, because we're literally playing. random thought. I don't think they should do this, by the way. What if there were balance changes for weapons in certain modes? Like, what if painting weapons painted 10% less on zones? AoE weapons had 5% smaller AoE on tower control. DPS weapons dealt like 10% less damage on Rainmaker. Like, to objects. Stuff like that. They should never do that. That's a terrible idea. It will create more problems than it solves. But I did think of that. I did think about that. Yeah, it would be pain. It's not worth it. But random idea that came to mind. I did not need to do anything that game because we pushed to 1 and just held 1 the whole time. Very fun. I keep forgetting I can speed this up. Yeah. Wait. Oh my god. Is it because I selected gear and continue that you can't see the flag? It's the same problem where you can't see like how leveled up a piece of gear is in certain spots. Where do I see the flag? Okay, well I might have to wait another game. I have to go to the match menu. Oh, we gotta wait. Yeah, only on menu. Okay, I had to quit out. Oh, it's next to the name. Oh. It was gray. Ah. Okay. I'll show it after this. I mean, yeah, Splatoon 3 has always been behind the systems of... I mean, quality of life is not as far behind. Splatoon 3 caught up in quality of life by, like, a lot. Splatoon 2 was super behind in quality of life. And, like, you notice it when you go back to Splatoon 2. I think it is the #1 most noticeable thing is how behind quality of life stuff is. Like, everything in the game feels slightly worse. And it's because of all these small little tweaks that just add up over a game. Yeah, and it's the moment you boot up Splatoon 2, and then there's news you can't skip. I sure hope Salmon is in rotation. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, remember when Salmon could just not be available? They never fixed that. They made the windows where it wasn't available smaller, I think, but they never made it available all the time. That was a Splatoon 3 thing. They were like, look, guys, you can play Salmon Run whenever you want. That's something I remember, like, when a lot of casual streamers played Splatoon 3. I remember that was something that was actually talked about. I remember most people would bring that up and be like, did you know you could play Salmon Run all the time now? And they're like, oh my god, they finally fixed that. I was like, damn, that's kind of embarrassing. This has to be a celebrated feature. Snapple really likes placing beacons. It's gonna work out because this team is like quad or triple QR. There's so much aggro. Their specials work well with the double blue. Yeah, the song one is a big one. It'd be especially nice for, like, editing. So I, like, have a lot of clips back to back, and I've tried overlaying songs over it, and some people do it, like Omega does it. And I know Dude does it a bit. But every time I do it, like, the song choices I like just don't... They don't sound good while you can also hear the Splatoon music. It's, like, really overwhelming how much shit is playing. So it just doesn't really work for me. So I just end up not having music the vast majority of the time. Like, occasionally I'll put it in if it's, like, a background discussion or something. If it's, like, more talk-focused. Or if it's, like, in the lobby where the songs are quieter. But it's, like... It's just annoying. And then the other thing I could do is cut the game sound altogether, but the sound design of this game is so fucking good. Like, I don't want to cut blaster directs. And of course, the other solution could just be, like, adding all the sound effects manually. But one, you can tell when people do that. And two, oh my god, that's so much work. Especially for, like, the average person trying to make a video. Like, come on. That should not be what people have to do. Yeah, we still haven't fixed screen sound. I don't think they know, honestly. I just don't think they know about it. I think they would fix it if they knew. But I don't think they know. I'm going to be cutting my time a little bit close to play an extra game. But I don't want to leave it at a 2-2 series. Okay, flag thing real quick, I'll do a game, and as soon as the game ends, I gotta go. Where can you see it? Am I blind in the lobby? Oh! Yeah. There. I thought it displayed in the menu, too. Did they remove that from Splatoon 2? Next to the weapon name? Oh, it's right there above my head. Got it. So, yeah. That's a thing. It's, odd, but, like, that's the system we have. It's not good. I don't think it's... I think it's a bigger problem than it gets credit for, so... Glad I can talk about it a bit. You could use some work in Turf. I don't play Turf. Plus, I find, like, I don't even know what I'd use to grind out the flag. My weapons suck in Turf. Voting for map modes Mario Kart 8 style would be a good idea. Better than what we have now. The only problem is how you would do the modes. But what I like about that is that you could vote for the map and then pick weapons. Then you could actually, like, see your team picking weapons, potentially. Or at least, like, if it's a rotation of 2 different maps, like if it's Flounder and Museum, or sorry, Flounder and Mahi, like very long favored stage, very short favored stage, I don't have to be like, oh god, what do I pick on these maps? so far. Oh, the cooler didn't even work. No caster. I tried to get tower. Dude, that's a splashdown jump. Surely we don't die to that? Oh, really? What? Dang. I didn't think he'd dive off tower. I thought he would secure check for sure. Got it anyway, though. Oh, I don't even... Okay, GG. Alright. Well, at least it was fast. Oh, no, wait, we respawned quickly. Maybe we can test. She's saying there's a chance, guys. There's a chance. There's a chance. No. I didn't crack him. I mean, it's Flounder Tower. This could absolutely snowball the other way. I was hoping that direct would kill the second one, too. Rip. Alright, that's it. I have to raid really fast, so I'm going to send y'all to Kyo. I haven't raided Kyo in a while. Alright. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I will see you all later. I have to go, but it was fun to do an early morning stream.